whatnot, but I've watched you online for a long time, and I feel like we'd be like really good friends. I'm gonna tell you some really personal stuff that I normally don't tell anybody, but I think you and I have a connection based off of the hours that I've watched you online and listened to the podcast. So this is what I want to tell you. Well, just about got this podcast edited. Need to send an email or two. Then I've got to finish editing that video, and I got to get the other two uploaded. So yeah, I'll make sure I get that done today. Oh, I'll get that here in a second. What the heck? Ooh, Oh, dude. Okay. Yep. Yep. Dude, I got it. Dude, I get it. Okay. Mm-mm. Guys, welcome back to the channel. If you guys don't know, my name is Jake. I'm a guitar player, but I also run a small podcast called Man the Helm. Talk about life, music, lessons learned in music, good times, bad times, all that above. But I recently had a guest on. If you guys are listening to this way in the future, it's been a while, however long it is. Time doesn't matter, though. Blake Wyland from the Tone Mob podcast came on as a returning guest. He was the first guest of the new year. And one of the topics we kind of got into was like the interpersonal relationships that people create in their mind if they watch a creator like on YouTube, Instagram, or they listen to their podcast. They feel like they know you, which in a sense they do. At least they know the perception that you put out of yourself online, whether it's podcast, YouTube, any media. But the problem is they don't know who you are. So you kind of have to take a step back every now and then and kind of check yourself. I'm guilty of it. Thankfully, I've never done anything stupid, like, share a whole bunch of personal details with people I don't know, because that's just not the way I roll. But it does happen. Funny story, the day after Blake and I recorded the podcast, here you go, he sent me this, and it's posted on the Tone Mob Facebook page, so I got permission from Blake to send this, or to use this as well. But as you guys can see, it's just a bunch of voice memos. Now, I'm not sure what the content of the voice memos were. I didn't want to get into that with Blake. That's his business. I don't need to know that. But the point is, it was some personal stuff that that gentleman or that person, whoever it was, probably wouldn't have said to a person that they just saw walking down the street. And that's usually the rule that I live by. It's like, if I wouldn't say it to you if I just saw you on the street, I'm probably not going to say anything to you in a DM or an email. So running the podcast, I do have to DM and email and reach out to people all the time. And I think I have a good formula for it. I've never really weirded anybody out. At least I don't think I have. If I have, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. But usually the DM or email that I send to the person I'm asking to be on the show goes something along the lines of, hey, my name's Jake. I run a small podcast called Man the Helm. I'd love for you to be a guest if you're interested in it and or available. That's pretty much the bare bones of what I send every single time. And then when they respond back, we set up times, dates, get everything in order. But here's the thing. If they don't respond back, at a minimum, and I mean a minimum, I'm not sending anything back to them within a week. If it's been a week, 2 weeks, maybe I'll start to send some other stuff. But it's not an everyday thing. I understand these people are super busy. They have lives. They have, work going on. They've got kids, families, whatever it is. They have life stuff going on. And you don't need to be spamming them in their DMs or their emails, because all that's going to do is turn that person off from wanting to talk to you. You need to treat it as a professional relationship that you're trying to forge that's not forged just yet. For me, I've been pretty lucky so far. I've had some awesome opportunities. One of those opportunities was last time Blake was down in Nashville doing an event with Stringjoy. He put it out that, hey, we're doing this here. Anybody in the Nashville area wants to come out and hang out, this is where we're going to be. And that's what I did. I went, hung out, got to put a face with the name with, Blake Wyland and Scott Marquardt from Stringjoy. A few other people from Stringjoy were there too. But it wasn't like, I kind of just stayed out of everybody's way because everybody was still technically working. And then, the next day, Blake put out a thing about, having a little pizza party down in Nashville. Anybody in the local area, if they're around, more than welcome to come. And that was more of a cool hang, I got to talk, we got to hang out, but here's the thing, like, there's still that boundary there, you know what I mean? Because Blake and I now, I would say, are pretty good acquaintances. We talk online, we DM somewhat frequently, but we're not like friends. I wouldn't tell him like personal stuff that like I'm going through, and I wouldn't expect him to do the same either. Another good example, I was super stoked, and if anybody knows, you can tell from the hat I'm wearing, I am a huge Wampler fan. When Brian came on the podcast, it was insane to me, but if you guys listen to that podcast, it's more of just like us shooting the breeze, because that's, at the end of the day, that's all that needs to happen. We're just two dudes that like guitar pedals, and through that, some really cool things have happened. I don't know if you guys listen to Chasing Tone, but I wasn't going to say anything because I didn't know how Brian felt about it, but they put it out on Chasing Tone. I got to go hang out with Brian at his studio. Mind-blowing that I got to go do that. But the reason why these things happened for me was because I treated everyone like a normal person, and I didn't fanboy, and I didn't like spam their DM. So if you're going to do some stuff where you're trying to be on social media and you're going to try to reach out, just don't be a creep. Do your best to kind of like compartmentalize and take a step back and think about, would I say this to a person on the street? If the answer is no, or you even hesitate, probably shouldn't hit that send button. But hope you guys got something out of this rambling, long-winded craziness that I did. But yeah, don't be a creep. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, even though it was just some long rambling craziness of me just talking. I don't know really if anybody's going to listen to this, but I just kind of felt a little compelled to make this for some reason. Also too, if you guys are interested, audio version is still available wherever you stream your podcast for Man the Helm. But I'm also doing this year, I'm trying really hard to put out video of those podcasts. Those will be released every Friday. So if you're watching this right now, you got Blake, you've got Jim Anthony, and next week I got somebody pretty cool I met on TikTok. So keep that in mind. But regardless, I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your week, and we'll see you on the next video.